Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom podcast. And once again, the Bad Batch bitches are back. Today, we are discussing season 3, episode 4, titled A Different Approach. I'm Colton Robertson, and I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up? What up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. Uh, we got another goodie. We got another goodie this week.
Mm,
I'm so very pleased with the state of the Bad Batch at present. Everything about this episode just it felt Star Wars, baby. Star Wars is
we're
back.
back. We're back, man. This
We are
is,
so back.
I think the 3 episode release at the beginning makes a lot of sense because if you release any one of those by themselves, it's not like they're bad, but they all hit very well. Just dropping them
As a
all at once, it gets you
yeah.
back in the season. Everything's perfect. This one is like, I don't know.
And
I
even
was,
more so given the end of this episode. For those who don't know and have not been here, we are not a spoiler-free show.
mm,
You can go ahead and dip if you
mm-hmm,
have not watched the episode, and if you haven't
yeah.
and you don't care, you can stick around. I don't mind. I'd recommend watching it though. That would be my highest priority if I were you.
Only 20
Um,
minutes. I don't know. It's
yeah, it's
they're pretty
very
short.
simple, very easy.
Mhm.
23, 24, you know.
Okay. So they're
Um,
beefing them up a little bit then. Are they usually that long? Or
Yes,
oh,
they
okay.
typically are.
Maybe
They
Clone
don't abide
Wars
by the
is what
network
I'm
Clone
yeah.
Wars is 22 because they had to abide by the network time
Mhm.
slot.
I
Now
see.
with Disney Plus, you can kinda beef
Fair
them up as
game.
much as you'd like.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so we've been treated to 4 very good episodes, and given the end of this episode, makes even more sense the pacing they decided to approach the season with in the first 3.
Hmm.
And it makes even more sense why episode 2 was there, you know? They didn't wanna just be like, "And they're back," you had to
Yeah.
get a little bit of something at least with them, on the journey, on the search, on the prowl,
Mhm.
um,
Man,
and while I do appreciate I they must have some fucking stuff to cook the rest of this season, because if we're already here,
mhm.
yo.
I mean, the titles don't look good moving forward. They just don't really. I'd really like if the rest of the season they're just going on this like free everybody. We're gonna free all the animals, we're gonna free all the clones, we're gonna free everybody from the Empire, just fight
Yeah,
the Empire and kind of, that's their thing. But I'm assuming it's gonna go bad for Omega or somebody at
somebody, yeah.
some point. It's we can't have all sunshine and rainbows. I don't know why that's hard for me to
Ain't no
say,
sunshine
but
when she's gone.
I mean, we do end with a little tension. It's not the
A familiar
happiest
tension.
ending. I am definitely crying tears of joy whenever
Mhm.
Omega is hugging Wrecker and Hunter. But then it's like, oh, I had a little bit of help. Kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi like
Yeah.
kind of esque on Mustafar. But
Yeah.
but
Hunter and Wrecker are gonna take some convincing.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, the last time that they saw Crosshair, weren't they shooting at each other? Isn't that like, or I'm trying to think of like the last interaction they had.
the
Um,
last interaction they had, I'm fairly certain, is the season 1 finale when he
mm,
chooses to not go with them.
okay, that's actually true. So no, but there wasn't a time in season 2 where they crossed paths and like they might have like shot at each other or something like that, and
I
then like,
don't I don't believe
yeah, no,
so.
okay,
There might have been with Hauser and Ryloth and all the stuff that happened there. A rewatch ahead of season 3 would have been beneficial, but I just know I know the general outline of the
but
way I feel about
definitely
it.
at Camino, they definitely
At
parted
the
ways
very
there
least,
for
yes.
certain. That's
He chose to go with the Empire. They were told, and he told them that
mhm.
he didn't have his inhibitor chip anymore, and he is making this choice for himself. I don't believe that, and I still don't. I think his inhibitor chip is still in there, but just like all the other clones, it's lost its effectiveness,
Yeah.
or most of the other clones. Um,
Mhm.
so I don't think he had a choice in that matter, but they don't know that. So I think that there's going to be a little tension, but Omega's going to vouch, and shit's going to go okay. Ultimately, however, they didn't get out of there fast enough.
You mean like the Empire's just gonna be
Yeah,
right?
they will be there. We're losing the ship, guaranteed.
Oh,
That's the big first loss.
oh no, that's been like their home, man. That's like
Hmm.
it. But it is it is Empire. Like, what do you call that? I don't know. Like design, like it right. Like it's very. That's not a.
It's Republic. It's a Republic ship.
Okay.
Um,
That then
and
turned kind of. I don't.
that has become
I see.
yes, and it's one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. I fucking love that thing. And as it has been the Bad Batch home and where Omega spent her first days off planet, off of Camino, and the first home she had away from home. And
They already blew up the freaking Razor Crest, and that was just gone. And like this one will hurt a little more. Like this
mm,
one, it's not quite like the Ghost blowing up and like going for good, but it's like it's closer to the Ghost than it is the Razor Crest for
I would say
me.
so.
Um, I don't want that to happen. But what would go bad here? Because I mean, this episode you said previously that you were like, man, love the Crosshair and Omega episodes. Love
Yeah, fuck
love
yeah.
these interactions, and boom, we got a beautiful one here of Crosshair finally. I was kind of on the fence if he was actually
You
kind of
were.
going back in. Yes. Oh, did I
You
say
were.
we? Did I say we?
Yeah. You
Yes.
did
No.
initially. You corrected yourself, but I wanted to emphasize.
Yes, I was on the fence of where Crosshair was gonna go, but this was pretty clear. He
It
had
was
all the
nice.
money. He had all the money. He could have ran, could have gone. He had his out. No,
Yeah, he
he's
said that line where he had in the first episode, if he had the opportunity, he wouldn't think twice. And he immediately thought twice.
yep.
And it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see because I mean, I love the evolution over the course of this episode of Batcher and his affection for Crosshair. Him kind
Yeah.
of being skeptical and growling at Crosshair at the beginning of the episode and feeling a hostility. And by the end, he's
Mm-hmm.
licking his cheek and he's sitting in his lap and all that stuff, like adorable. And they're obviously going with the Batcher is the
Morale
indicator
detector.
of yes, yes,
Yes, he is
absolutely. I love
perfect.
that shit, man. I love that shit. And I think that they did a really, really good job. This one, so far, I mean, episode 2 is far and away the weakest episode, and even that had this fun, just genre episode thing
Mm-hmm.
going for it. Like, it was fun. It was just pedal to the metal. We're having a good time. This one blended the story elements with the excitement elements and just the fun stuff. And it felt so
They
endlessly Star Wars.
kind of
I
turned the
love
critical value up a notch too here. It seemed like this one was beautiful, like on multiple like accounts, like where it didn't need to be for no reason. Like there was like I don't know, we were kind of talking about this one trooper that it seems that there's a focus on him, and I don't know. I'm not completely gonna dismiss him. Actually, there
the goggles and trench coat.
yeah, there is something kind of going on. That there are multiple soldiers that wear that trench coat, so it's not like singular to that one clone. Because like walking out of the bar, there's like two guys that are wearing that coat, but those glasses and those goggles, there's like a wire that comes down outside of the helmet and then like back down into the coat or like back down into his helmet or
Mm,
something or his neck. And that I don't know. That kind of is interesting, and he is watching and like in a watchtower and like kind of
right.
watching over everybody, very mysterious. But that final shot of whenever like it's his face and like Omega and Cross are about to take off, and like just the wind currents
Wind
kind of, yeah,
passing
like passing, like it was just so cool, like
look
and
great.
and yeah, like perfect animation, like the medium. It was just like it's perfect. Doing that in real life, like you can't. How the heck are you gonna have a?
You
I
can't
don't know.
accomplish
I
it
guess
the
you
same
you
way.
kind of could, but like you couldn't see the wind like that. It was
Mhm.
it's really cool, and like um I didn't know that it was a moon of Ryloth that we were meeting on. at the end there. But after you pointed that out to me, like that was
Yeah, it's
like,
where they met. It's where they met
oh,
Hera in season one.
dude, that's so cool. Like, and they sent out a secret message. So like this has to be like their kind of like, in case of emergencies, we're meeting here. Like this is like a
Mm.
safe moon, or like safe
Well,
house,
I
like
mean,
sort
like
of thing.
there's
Or
I wonder if that's the case or if they knew because Ryloth is still Imperial space. I'm pretty sure it's still.
hmm,
I'm pretty sure. I might be mistaken. Um, no, fairly certain. But that was where the Syndulas felt comfortable meeting in secret. So if that's where the Syndulas felt comfortable
mm,
meeting in secret, they're like,
okay,
we should
yeah,
be good to meet there in secret. So I dug that
mm,
a lot. It was a great callback to what many proclaimed a one-off or a filler in
mm-hmm,
early seasons with the Ryloth arc, where one of those episodes didn't even have the batch in it. You know,
yeah.
so it was nice to see that come back around with an extremely impactful moment.
Yeah, and it looked good. Them getting there, like seeing
Gorgeous.
Ryloth in the background, and then like them going, like it just the camera movement. It's not an actual I don't know, but just like
No, yeah, yeah,
showing
yeah.
the planet and then the ship like zoom overhead and it like swipes over. I don't know. It was very apparent this episode, at least to me, that like it seemed to be a step up even more on like the animation style, and just I don't know. It seemed like they were kind of showing off a little bit
Mm,
this episode to me. But yeah, I adored it. It very cute. Not much has happened. We predicted quite a lot of things might happen.
right.
And we might be going, all gas, no brakes. But I kind of like that we slowed down just a little bit, and we got they're still on the run. Things are still very high stakes and everything, but
No,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
quite like, oh, Vader's here, Hemlock is already on their tail, and like
No,
or
yeah, and I
or
know we
something
talked a
crazy. But
lot about Vader showing up. For me, that is a late
late game,
season
okay,
prediction.
yeah,
That's a long-term thing for me because I mean, I wouldn't even really it is slowing it down to a degree. We did predict like there were things that went wrong at the beginning of the episode that of course they got shot a lot, the comms
mm,
are down, they got to crash land
yeah,
somewhere. Like,
you
okay, that automatically, as soon as you start the episode that way, we know, okay, this is going to be another Crosshair and Omega episode. It's
hmm you
and
kind of
that's
called
welcome
that
for me.
as well. I
Yeah.
don't know if you remember that, but you were like, oh, it could be as easy as like the comms are too long range, or like the Empire could track them, or like,
Yeah.
and it's like literally both. And I thought that, I
I
don't know,
remember
was
saying, like,
like,
Crosshair knows that they let them go, which means that they're confident that
yeah,
they can follow them.
yeah.
And he mean the
So,
Empire will be following us, like that
hmm
that whole thing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's beautiful. It's simple and effective
mm,
storytelling. I loved the one of my favorite things about this episode was just the invasiveness of the Empire.
mm,
There was such a presence on Lao that Omega thought they already found them as like fugitives. She thought that they'd sent backup to Lao, extra forces to bring them down. But Crosshair's like, no, this is a standard patrol. This is what they do. Loved that detail. I loved
yeesh,
the inclusion
yeah.
of the absolute douchebag captain.
I
The
wonder who
one who
played him.
obviously
Yeah, if it's
I don't
someone
know.
like
He
someone,
sounded very familiar. He sounded
yeah.
extremely familiar, so I'd be excited to learn. Um, but we actually I forgot to mention this last week. We got a wonderful guest appearance in the second episode on the planet where Hunter and Wrecker.
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes,
got
I think I
Angelica
know.
Houston,
Yes,
which
I
I completely
uh-huh.
forgot to mention. Um,
Just in the
but
Bad
regardless,
Batch. Just in a Bad Batch episode, just
it
like,
was also not her first foray into Star Wars. She's been a voice before. Can't remember what, but I think it was a
mm,
Clone Wars character. But regardless, I would like to know who played him because he was perfect.
is it
I love.
Captain Man? Would that
I'm
be
assuming that's
probably?
perfect.
Um,
Captain Man.
Harry Lloyd, played him, and he's known for The Theory of Everything, The Iron Lady, Anthropoid, and Jane Eyre.
Harry Lloyd, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like okay. Video game looks like just a voice
A voice
actor.
actor. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Does I don't know. Nothing's like popping up where I would
I
necessarily
mean,
know him,
that's
but
an hysterical name if you're a fan of Dumb and Dumber.
Harry Lloyd. Yeah. That's like, is that the actual name or is that both of their names?
That's both of
It's
their
just both of
names.
their names, but
One of
his
them is
name,
Lloyd, one of them is Harry, and this guy is Harry Lloyd. That's outstanding.
Harry Lloyd.
Love that. But
Hmm.
regardless, he did a great job. I loved the just immediate you fucking despise this guy. The self-importance, you understand that this guy thinks he is way more important than he actually is.
Mm.
You know, there's
Mm.
nothing that happens on Lao that I don't know
Yes.
about.
Oh, good
Um,
business. So that must mean I have been having a very successful day then. He's like very Squilliam kind of from SpongeBob-esque. I felt like he's uh no, it was nice that Omega, I guess i- is the Kiner tweet finished, you know? Is it wrapped up? Because it seemed to be that Omega was on the other side of this, Uno
+4, +4,
thing.
+4.
So she
This
won
is
the
gonna be a
game though.
fun discussion point every week.
Yeah.
The cryptic Kiner tweet.
Like the first one was easy. First one, simple. We got it, you know.
Lula. Yeah, the Lula. Um,
Boom.
this
But
one,
this
the +4s, the Uno, this kid has no idea what's coming for them. Oh, the card game.
Yeah, so she wins. She does win the card game. She plays and everything. But like
Mhm.
what's the redacted? Why is the last card redacted? Is it just because she won the card game but then the guy comes back and then is like, "Oh, well pay me my fine for um gambling and then pay me for, being a fugitive and blah blah blah." Is that the
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
redacted part?
It
Um
could be like, they were being cautious about, like, an Uno reverse card. You know what I'm saying? Like, they +4, +4, +4, she ends up winning, but they're like, "Bah!" Like,
mhm.
run that back,
The reverse card's at the end, so they're like, "Nah, we can't show that. That's too
yeah,
clear." Okay,
too
I
obvious.
like that. I like that.
Uh,
Um,
well, and it's also the tweet's also a grown man playing against a child. The original,
mhm.
like, this kid has no idea what's coming for them. And that is the essence of this card game, is that, this self-important asshole
Okay.
thinks that this kid has no
Okay.
idea what's
Yeah.
coming for him. So there
It
it's
is
funny
cleared up.
because in the past, their cryptic tweets have been a little more, like, dreadful. Like, "I don't know what's coming. Oh god. Oh, fuck." And that one
Mhm.
felt dreadful, and then you get the answer and you're like, "Oh, okay." Um,
Maybe they're playing us. They're
might be
playing
a
with our
little bit.
feelings. They're like, "Oh, we'll throw you
They
two
are.
nice ones."
They
Get
nailed it again, man.
Mhm.
The Kiner siblings and their father. Kevin Kiner is the dad of Sean and Deanna.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and he's actually the one who scored Clone Wars and Rebels. And so I didn't realize they've only been credited
Wow.
in previous seasons, uh, specifically the Bad Batch seasons 1 and 2, as like additional music. It was Kevin Kiner getting credited with
Oh.
the score, music by.
Mhm.
Um, Now they are alongside their father, and that was one of the shitty things about this episode, is that they dead named Deanna in the credits, which was not cool.
Yeah. But what
Didn't love
happened?
that.
The first 3 episodes, they were fine. They did it,
Yep.
you know?
My money, Deanna recently came out within the last year, so they prioritized making a quick change immediately, and it's likely just an oversight. I doubt it was done with any malice.
Mm.
But
On
hopefully
the
that'll
the wiki page, a screenwriter already said that it's going to be fixed. At least
I'm sure.
so. I
Yeah,
don't.
like,
Seems that
that's
they're
my thing is
already
that
on it. But
yeah, I'm like, I'm sure it was just an oversight. I doubt it was done with any ill intention at heart because, I mean, like,
mhm.
the Kinder siblings they are a massive reason the show has like grown its audience, the interaction they're willing to have
Mm.
with fans online, and the love they feel and the love they give and everything.
Yeah.
They are so open and so pleasant online that I absolutely love following them year round, but specifically
Yeah.
when Bad Batch is going on. And they got to
Was
score Ahsoka, which was very cool
Oh,
as
okay.
well. So
Yeah.
they've been around
I
for
saw
sure.
them posting like their names next to John Williams, and they were like,
Yeah,
"Holy shit!" They're like, "Oh my god, look at this! This is
yeah.
insane!" And it feels like they're
And
they're just
that
fans of
was
Star
another thing that
Wars, you
really
know.
sucked about this week too, is that I saw how excited they were last week. So if they're like,
It would have
I don't
really
know
sucked last
if
week if it like really sucked
yeah,
because it was next to
but
John Williams last week, but this week it's just
mhm,
them. You know, there's no
yeah.
John Williams in there.
So I was thinking
But
like, but if I worked on something and I got that amount of joy out of seeing my name in the credits,
yeah.
I would watch for the credits every single week.
Oh, they're
So
for
that's
sure watching for the
yeah.
credits then.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a knife in the fucking heart, you know? So, like, all my love with Deanna Kiner,
Mhm.
love her, love the Kiner siblings, and I hope and I believe I'm hoping by Friday when our episode is out, that's already been corrected.
Mhm.
Hopefully, this is an aged issue.
Yeah.
Um,
Someone
but,
says that Jennifer Corbett or Corbet, I don't know,
Orbit, yeah, she's the
is
showrunner.
has later confirmed that the issue would be fixed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
um,
she's the showrunner, her and Brad Rao.
okay.
They're responsible for the series that we both love. Um
Hmm.
I love online whenever they're like, Dave Filoni, you're fucking me up this week, and people being like, well, actually,
Hmm.
Dave Filoni has little to nothing to do with this show. Um,
I see.
understand the misconception, as he's credited with pretty much everything in Star Wars modernly. And even
Like,
so, he's the first name that pops up in the credits, executive produced
yeah.
by
So
Dave Filoni.
how much just impact does he actually have on the show at all? Like,
I'm not sure in a day-to-day sense.
is he really
I'm
like a
sure there
Kevin Feige now? Like he's kind
yes,
of
yes,
just
that's actually the exact position he holds at Lucasfilm now,
hmm.
is the creative director, like the creative director. There
Okay.
was like, so he's every single show gets ran by him now before it's committed to filming.
Okay.
Um,
So it's not like he says, "Here's the big beats you guys got to hit, make the show around it, come back to me." It's like, "Hey,
they
we have
make
this
the
show.
show.
Is it
He
okay?"
tell yes, yes.
Hmm.
Does this break anything we have on a larger scale
I
planned?
see.
Um,
I see.
so he is much more of a Feige position modernly.
Hmm.
But regardless, yeah, Jennifer Corbett and Brad Rao and the Kiners and who knows how many other people, but like those four in my head when I think of who's responsible for this show that I
Mhm.
really love. D. Bradley Baker and Michelle Ong. Those would be the other two,
It's
obviously.
true. It's kind of a small knit group
Feels like a
here, you
small
know.
team.
Yeah,
I
cuz
mean,
like
especially cast-wise, whenever
yeah.
the 5 main characters are, you know, portrayed by the same fucking guy,
Yeah, it's not like a
it feels
Rebels
like a little family,
situation. Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not like a Rebels where you're I don't know, you have multiple characters that are voiced by multiple people. It's like a Family Guy where it's all
Mm.
just kind of the same dude running everything. Yeah. Um,
Yeah. No,
but
and that's that and I wanna give some credit to Michelle Ong. I feel like I didn't do enough last week to kinda, because it's so natural. It's just like being around somebody for so long, you don't realize their voice has dropped. You don't
yeah.
realize they are like,
Hello. Like that was
yeah,
crazy when you
"Hello,
sent me that. The
um,
difference between her
hello,
two. Yeah.
hello."
Whoa.
Her voice is dropping, and she's looking much older, and her hair's much longer, and there are shots where she just is the spitting image of Hunter, and it's just fucking
She's
jarring,
getting that
you know?
headband and it is going to be the
Oh,
saddest thing of all time.
absolutely.
Because you see her hair kind of like or
It
maybe
falls in the same spot, and
maybe there is a happy ending and Hunter doesn't have to die in order for her to get this headband. It's just like he goes
just
to
a passing of
Pabu,
the torch.
like maybe he's like, "Okay, it is my time to stop," but Omega is like, "I cannot. Like I'm so young, my fight's not over. You go retire." But then Hunter's like, "Take this," or
It
something.
seems
But
impossible from where I'm sitting.
No.
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm not gonna go with the death route.
Mm.
Um, however, even if it seems impossible either way that Omega doesn't end up in the rebellion. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't die, I feel like she feels like she has things to do, so she'd go and fight. If they do die, she is now given a very personal reason to fight. Like it's so either way, I don't really
Mm.
foresee a situation where she doesn't end up fighting with the rebellion. Be it through Captain Rex and Echo, because I could see Hunter, Crosshair, and Wrecker settling the fuck down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think they've earned it. They fought their wars. They've done their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh
now
yeah.
you can rest.
And I
But I
love
think
that
Omega,
Pabu is just the perfect. If you have never seen them before, it's because they're at Pabu. It's like
yeah,
it's always a possibility that the happy ending is there. Um, but
I sure fucking hope.
so we cut in next episode. What's
What's the vibe?
yeah? Are they is Omega the one that's gonna have to be like, okay now guys, Crosshair's like he's kind of chill, he's got like something little thing going on. We need to talk to him. Let's like I like is Omega gonna be the middle
I mean, I
ground
think she
or
has to be. I think she has to be. Because Crosshair has said and done the right thing before and ended up kind of folding on that. So I don't think it can come directly from him. I imagine the thing that will really end up reinforcing their bond is I think Crosshair is going to have to get vulnerable about tech.
ooh oh
Um,
yeah.
I
Does
think that there's going to have to be
he knows?
yes. He never learned on screen. I don't think. Um, I don't believe he ever learned on screen, but there was a mention within the first 3 episodes where Omega says something about tech
Hmm.
and Crosshair kind of gets a little grave and she does too. So it's like she's at least told him since she's been there, like that sort of thing. Um
Did you see that they have Tech's goggles? Like
yes.
Hunter, they have so like they went down there and like looked. They might have found his body, like, and they.
That really when they showed that they had his goggles really anchored your theory from the end of season 2 about him like recording stuff with his goggles. Um I liked that a lot more. Uh,
No. Maybe they're just broken and they're done, but like, do you think they've like plugged them in to try to see, like,
no, no,
and watch
I
what
don't
he's
think they have.
recorded?
I doubt they even know he did that.
Oh my
I'd be
god.
willing to bet it's an accidental discovery of some sort if that comes
Oh
around.
no. Okay. What? Why would they want to use his gog? Let's see. Maybe it's just like we need some intel on blah blah blah. Tech had all the shit. Let's look at his goggles. And then, oh, what's this folder? Secret recordings, or out of,
Mm,
or like his little
yeah.
diary, basically something.
Family home videos
Oh
is what
yes.
it's gonna be. That's gonna be
Oh,
if we ever get a montage like that, that's the vibe we're getting
oh
is home video.
man. All
And
right.
you'd think it's probably gonna start as, like, battles and training and
Mhm.
stuff, and then it's just gonna be, like, them hanging out.
It's gonna
It's gonna
be
be
no, no.
yeah.
There's gonna be one of him teaching Omega the maneuver in the ship whenever, like
Mhm.
and it's oh
Yeah.
no, dude.
Protection!
There's gonna
Protection!
there's going to be a
Um,
I could actually see that
and
happening.
you know what the last video is? This is perfect. Wrecker and Omega slowly getting further away as he drifts into the abyss. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be so moving. Uh,
I mean, it is the last thing that
it's the
is
last
recorded.
video. It's
That's
the
for
last
sure.
video.
And maybe there
Uh,
would be like a Fee Giona. I
yeah.
still want to see her. I missed her this up. I really thought maybe
I
we'll get
know.
her
I'm like,
back.
when is he coming back around?
Where is she? She just at Pabu, maybe.
I think she's still on Pabu's.
Um,
She's still kicking it.
so, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we just got to get to Pabu. But we already were on Pabu. What the hell? We dropped the boys off, right? I guess maybe off
That's my
screen?
thing. I'm like, "Oh, damn, we just kinda skip over that."
Or
So
maybe
the other thing
the
too is
boys are
that
in there,
episode
in the
2
ship still?
they could be, but my thing is that episode 2 could have taken place any time over the last 6 months.
It's true, it has been a while, has
Yeah.
been quite
They
some
like,
time.
Star Wars confirmed that, like, they have, like, little tidbits about episodes, like, the
Mm,
amount of it indicates, like,
the tick
6
marks.
months worth of,
I
rotation.
gotcha.
Uh, so she's been there for 6 months.
And a thing
Uh,
I keep forgetting is 6 months for Omega is a year for Hunter and Wrecker. It's like they operate on, like, a dog year
yeah, right.
sort of thing
I don't think
almost.
the time literally
Um,
passes at that rate.
but they
They
age. That's
age
what I'm
at that
saying.
rate. Yeah.
Yes. So like a dog. Like a dog doesn't experience time any faster than us, but they die a whole lot faster, you know? So it's like it's sad to compare them to a dog, but like at
No,
least
but
it's not
that
7 years, you know? At least it's 1 to 2 and not 1 to 7, you know? It's a lot better. Um but yeah, that's like Crosshairs um is it just purely mental, or like do you think they go down a route where they're trying to be like clones just break down over, like it's after the war, they weren't meant for this, so like they're just breaking down, or do you think like it's purely like his mental battle that he's having, and like, or
in terms of what?
like his little
His
handshake, his little like tremor, or his little like
Oh, gotcha,
whenever he
gotcha.
stops firing for a
Um,
little bit, you know, and shakes his
I
hand,
think
like,
I don't think that's a clone specific thing. I think that's a Crosshair specific thing.
yes.
I think the thing that he's been so good at all his life, he's been shaken so deeply by his experience and what he's had to do that he no longer feels completely confident. I think we are going to get a shot when he officially reunites with the batch where he is completely steady, where he is completely on point, and it's because he's back with his boys. Um,
He's gonna be struggling the whole time, and then when he's like,
yeah.
"No, I'm back with my boys. This is where I belong."
He's gonna like we're
Ching.
gonna get like the next time he hits like an epic
He's gonna
crosshair
throw his
shot.
mirrors. Yes, he's gonna throw his
Yes,
little mirrors and do a
and
little
it's gonna be the first time he's rolling with Hunter and Wrecker in some serious capacity. Um,
Crosshair kills Darth Vader with the yeah, Matt. Like they
they
change
changed
everything for
it.
this show. Like with the craziest shot. No, okay, let's see who could Crosshair, like. Is it to kill someone, or maybe like a shot to like saves? Maybe it causes a chain reaction to happen to save someone. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's
I
not
mean, he could
necessary.
kill Hemlock.
Ooh, uh huh,
In fact,
yeah,
that's probably the person he will kill. Um, if I had to guess.
yeah. Yeah, I saw that Hemlock and Palpatine are definitely
Fucking
like that's a couple. Yeah, they're of the same mind.
yeah. No,
There.
it's hilarious. I saw those tweets last week too. That was a hilarious
They
bit of
are
discourse.
fucking, you know, if we're getting
Yes,
the
if we're going
Christopher Nolan,
Oppenheimer.
yeah, we're getting
Yeah,
the Christopher Nolan screenwrite
we
of
are
this.
fucking
Yes.
hot, sweaty, a little brutal,
That's how they describe it. He's so
yes,
scientific. Yes, you
yes,
know, that's Hemlock. But
um,
okay, I didn't think of him as like a death, but definitely like
I mean, yeah,
very
if
likely.
there's been an Imperial introduced who we are going to get the Tarkin moment with, or you know that sort of like Richard E. Grant in The Rise of Skywalker when he's standing on the bridge and then you watch
Mm,
it explode. And he kind of like that's Hemlock. That's
okay.
the Imperial
I
here.
think
Um,
Nalase is
Nalase's gone. Yeah, she's
sadly
done.
pretty confirmed probably gone, which sucks. And like Hemlock does say it this episode. He's like, uh, weird. You know, awful strange how she escapes the same night. We find out that
Mhm.
her blood works. How weird is that? And Nala says like,
Odd.
ah, yes, but that's an
Oh,
aberration. Just
just as
like
the clone herself.
Omega is. And I was like, okay, whatever for now. I'll walk
Okay.
away.
Yeah.
He's like, sure, whatever. We'll test that whenever we got her back. And then he's like, yeah, whenever we do test that, your safety's not so safe any longer, which is really, really
No
sad.
guarantee.
And maybe that's the infiltration and extraction. mission that they're on. Omega's like, we got to get
Hmm.
Nala Se out of
Nala
there.
Se.
Like, we got to get Nala Se and all the other clones out of there. And
That's the middle of the season, right?
let's see. Yeah, it's 6 and 7. Infiltration, extraction. We have the
Okay.
return next episode. The
Back
return.
to Abu, baby.
Maybe that's the obvious answer, or the return of another member that we thought we
Yeah.
lost. Possibly. I don't want to think that it's happening for sure. Like, he could just be gone, and gone he could be.
No, and frankly, I hope he is. That's
yeah.
one of the better sacrifices in modern Star Wars, and I know that we are notorious for if you don't see a body, they're not really dead in Star Wars. That's just like one of the characters survived being cut in half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true.
So, it's pretty much anything's on the fucking table.
Anakin Skywalker survived getting 3 limbs chopped off and being burnt alive by lava. So that's gotta hurt. I'd say. I don't know. That'd probably kill most people. I'd probably die from that one.
Rey survived being dead.
This is true. She actually survived being dead. Yes, she literally was.
And that one, we saw the body. So, like, that's the thing, is that, like, anything's on the fucking table. But yeah, the one who stood out to me this week as the potential tech was obviously any character with goggles. I'ma go tech, you know? So it's just the way things are. However, the detail from the first 3 episodes that they have Tech's goggles throws a wrench into the idea, for sure, that he'd be alive.
Could see them getting there, them just finding the goggles. The body's nowhere to be found. They just see the goggles. Maybe the Empire got there first, got his body.
No, yes.
And then they go back, get the glasses, and they're like, well, where the heck's his body? That's weird. The Empire wouldn't care about their goggles, you know? They're like, well, fuck it. We just need his body for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe that is part of.
I mean, like, that would have to be what happened.
Yeah, like Project Necromancer, like recently dead clone soldiers. Let's just see if we can resurrect them. Like, they're testing so many clones just for their blood to see if a potential M count could match. But another process of Necromancer, I mean, probably resurrection's a big part of it.
Yeah, just attempting resurrection at all. Yeah, no, for sure. But in relation to Project Necromancer, last week we spun the yarn a bit about the origins of, like Order 66 and how he stole the bodies of Jedi to match and stuff. I even spun the thread that maybe he wanted Anakin to eventually be like his host body, like he wanted to clone him, make that like the capability of him with his mind and his consciousness, et cetera, et cetera. And in addition to that, not so, just another little layer is there any chance that the source of Clone Force 99's deformities is that they were an attempt at force sensitive clones?
Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. I'm dumb. I thought you were going down a way different path. I'm just gonna backtrack there because the timeline just doesn't work. I thought you were gonna say that each limb that Anakin lost was like taken, and then that part of Anakin was made into a clone. And
I mean, it could be. There's comic stuff with the severed hand of Luke Skywalker, being like in a vat at Exegol and shit like that. So, I wouldn't put it past them, but I kind of take that like once they've been severed and scorched, probably not
But
so
that's
viable.
the thing, though, is that he jumped up. He got severed at the high ground. So, like, did his arms and legs that were severed roll down with him, or was it just the remaining torso of him?
I suppose I've never paid attention to where the extremities land.
Where do his arms and legs go? Or arms and leg? Or legs and arm? Because he already lost one arm before, or part of an arm.
forearm.
and now he lost the other. Right, he has 0 real hands, right?
Yeah, no real hands, no real feet.
Nope. Damn. He's a damn.
Bro can't feel, which is sad.
Yeah,
Very sad.
but
Um,
okay, but sorry, I derailed. What was your
no.
line of
My
thought?
grand theory was that just that the Clone Force 99, the Bad Batch, are defective
Mm-hmm.
because of being attempts at force sensitive clones.
I see.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
as we see with Snoke, kind of, I mean, a deformed clone
Mm-hmm.
that is granted force capabilities. Is there any
Yeah.
chance that all their enhancements
Yeah.
are signs of the force kind of channeling through them a little bit? Um,
Okay.
Obviously, some of them are a little bit more physical, not so like Crosshair could easily be a force guidance thing. Tech's intelligence could easily be a force guidance thing. Even Hunter's senses, you could argue like he thinks of them as smelling
Mm.
and hearing and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but what's actually happening is the force communicating to him. The only one that's a little off with is Wrecker's size and ability, his strength. Um,
Mm-hmm. That's
so
genetics, though. That's just, and genetics can be,
yeah,
the way how
very
everything
true.
goes down. But yeah,
No, so and I don't so much think that, but I
mm-hmm.
do think they could be the result
I see.
of trying to create force
Yeah,
sensitive clones.
because Palpatine, obviously he'd be like, he's searching for any possible way that he can make himself a new body so that he can live longer. That's the goal.
Mhm.
But then he would obviously be like, "Oh, well, can I make this body better? What's the best possible body I can have?" And
I
so
wanna
I
just rock and bod.
yeah, so I'd see him be like, "Okay, we have this massive clone army. Um, let's try out some different traits. Let me see if I can be bigger. Let me see if I can be smarter. Let me see if I can be faster. If I can,
Mhm.
I don't know, like have all these traits, or maybe it is specifically for an M count. Like they're like, what gives a higher M count? Is it brawn? Is it intelligence? Is it maybe they're testing different things to see whose M count is higher depending on everyone else's.
Well, and
Um,
that was my other interest in do we know the origins of their abilities? Like, were they specifically trying to create these abilities, or were they a happenstance?
it
Like, did they just
seems that they
happen?
were like purposefully created Clone Force 9. Well, no, maybe we don't know. Maybe it could have been an accident, like Clone Force 99. They tried something that didn't necessarily go the way they thought, but they're still not so defective that, they're useless or whatever. I don't know. It's weird to talk about them like that. But
No, defective,
yeah. I see like in your theory of Anakin being the prime, kind of body that Palpatine wanted. That's the highest M count anyone's ever seen.
Mhm.
Ever. Like even higher than Yoda. So like that makes perfect sense. Like they're looking for someone who has an M count. I guess I don't know. Is it Omega's M count that's high enough? And that's the reason that
It seems that I don't think she has just a ridiculously high M count in terms of just being able to match with anybody. I think there's something about her blood that is compatible with M count blood. So I think it's kind of like a cells multiplying thing. Like I think she has a certain M count and it's enough to meld with force sensitivity. Not
hmm,
necessarily enhance it, but replenish it to a point where like I guess because they did a lot of talking about like matching M counts, right? Like
they said it either needs to match the host's M count or exceed it. So, like, it either needs to be as force sensitive or more. Is that like is that correct to be like interchangeable as force sensitive, or just maybe how natural your your force sensitivity comes to you? Is that
yeah,
basically
I'm
what
like
M
M
count
count.
is?
It's M count's interesting because clearly Ahsoka's gone down the route where anybody can be force sensitive. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
They're clearly
I
focusing
think
on M
M
count
count.
here, though. It's
Yeah, And I like that they're using M count in the modern Star Wars canon with like the Mandalorian and stuff. Like, obviously, we weren't really old enough to get the discourse around the prequel trilogy.
Mhm.
Midichlorians were not nobody gave a flying fuck about midichlorians.
Mm-mm. No.
They didn't like, and frankly, I don't love that there's a scientific component to the Force. I get why George decided that was something he wanted to do. It helped with the Chosen One prophecy and kind of helping Qui-Gon find the Chosen One, but like,
And I guess
um,
you could still make it, more spiritual in the sense that like the Force decides who has a higher M count and like who will, like Anakin. Maybe the reason his M count is so incredibly high is that he was so incredibly important to the fate of the entire galaxy. So like it was
right.
just
He's not so incredibly important to the galaxy because he has a high M count. His M count is high because he's important to the galaxy.
exactly.
I get
So
your
maybe I see how it can be both ways, where anyone can still be force sensitive if you truly have the training and dedication, whatever.
mhm.
Um, but if you're already destined to kind of have a big impact on the galaxy, I guess that's kind of not free will. I guess I don't know. However you want to look at it, but um, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy that like um they are going very scientific, it seems, with this
Hmm.
storyline. Like Hemlock,
No,
like
like
that's
it's
like at
that
like
and
Nala
that's
say all
what's
these.
interesting about the M count is that I do think a certain M count is probably necessary for Palpatine
Mm-hmm.
and for the process of transferring consciousness and for the process of inhabiting a body. So I don't think it's strictly like it's not the same as being born and just existing, and if you train enough, like Palpatine doesn't have time to train again. Like
I see. Yes.
bro wants a body that's got the natural capability.
Mm.
Um
He wants to get in and go
go. Yeah.
immediately. No
So and
difference.
now what Omega's blood does in terms of I mean I take it that she obviously has an M count. Um but there's got to be, cuz if she can just match and exceed, if that's the goal, that would mean she has like the highest M count there is.
What if her enhancement isn't anything? It's just that she ages slower than normal.
We're coming full circle. This is a
Have
theory you've
we?
had before.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Because like, well, I guess we see her hair get longer, and her voice
Mhm.
is dropping and everything. So I don't know, but
Well, to put a number on it, like the other clones age twice as fast.
hmm
So in theory, what you're posing is that she would age twice as slow.
yeah, or maybe she has like some healing component, like maybe it's like a
Factor. Yeah.
Wolverine type thing going on. And that's the thing in her DNA that works so well. She has a high M count, yes, but also it's like this.
Like her M count could be her ability, her
And that's
special.
just the only thing is that it just is.
I mean, like that's my thing is that like I think that the way they're going, if she had some sort of specific ability beyond what she's displayed, which is keen intuition, a great deal of uh, foresight. Um,
hmm
I mean, that goes hand in hand with force sensitivity. So, like,
Okay. Okay. So take it like you go back a couple steps. How does knowledge like it's almost like they knew this would happen with Omega. Maybe maybe not at the time of creating her, but maybe after creating her, they knew, like Nala Se knew that Omega's blood would work 100% and she had to get out of there because that is exactly what they're looking for. So, what do they have at Camino whenever they're creating Omega? do they know at the time of creating her that she is this
Yeah, that
whatever?
would be interesting. Did they make a huge fucking mistake destroying Camino, the Empire? I mean, on for them, it's already a huge fucking mistake to destroy
Ooh.
Camino from a moral level.
Mhm.
But do Kaminoans know how to create Force sensitive clones? Like, is that something they are fully in control of? They know exactly how to do it.
And
That would
maybe
be
Omega
interesting.
was the first, I don't know, like, maybe they're like, Let's try it out. We have a Jedi coming in order," we're ordering they're just ordering a massive clone army, but what's a good business, what's the next step that they're gonna want? A Jedi army. Maybe they want that, who knows, or maybe the enemies will want that, so and that'll sell for more, maybe, that's just the way they operate, I don't know, like, but it's interesting. It would be interesting to know if Omega was an accident stumbled upon. That's like, oh wow, look at this crazy one-off chance. That's like, holy shit. Or
If she was stumbled upon, it's a massive coincidence that she's one of the ones that can age slow. The other thing is that if they stumbled upon it, does it mean, and I don't see how this would be physically possible, that they have the capability to alter the aging factor? Is that something that they after creation? Um,
like you can just
'Cau
hop in a little chamber and then come out 20 years older.
well, not necessarily, but you can slow the aging process or speed it up. Not necessarily
Oh.
like you will not instantly age, but like, is it possible for Hunter to hop in an aging chamber and return his lifespan to the full
Ah.
extent? Um, Now I don't know. That's that like so we're talking about Star Wars. So coincidence doesn't really exist. What we're talking about is the fucking Force.
Yeah.
So the thing for me is that like if the Kaminoans did not know Omega was going to be force sensitive or have a high M count, which I'm of the mind they didn't. I think that's something that Nalase stumbles upon. I'd go so far as to say there literally wasn't another Kaminoan who knew that besides Lama Su.
Mm.
Um, he would be the
Mhm.
only other like the prime minister of Camino, the one who sent Cad Bane and stuff after her. Like I'd be
Okay.
willing to bet that was a closely kept secret, you know.
Mhm.
So I would be willing to bet it's happenstance. I bet it's like I'd be like it's just part of their blood tests, you know? Like it seems like that's just a factor in your blood. Like the clones born, they're like, "Oh, fuck. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We'll play this one
whoa.
close to the chest."
But it's interesting that she's also said to
The young
be
one.
said to be, like the opposite of Boba, or like created with the same
Mhm.
as Boba was created, and have this. It seems that she is very separate from everything else. This is special, very, very, very hands-on. I don't know. This is not the bulk order whatsoever. This is um, their doings, but will be interesting to see how they handle all this science stuff and everything, because
Yeah, no, 'cause yeah.
maybe in those tanks they are just Jedis, and it is bodies that they know have high M counts, and that's what you need in order to restore back to like a young age. You could hop
Mhm.
in a chamber, but you need something in order to restore your life,
Right.
and that is
Well,
literal life itself. So
I remembered something for you remember the room in Obi-Wan Kenobi that was just lined with Jedi frozen in, like, a homeostasis? Um, like they were in, like, some sorta yellow gel
oh
thing,
shit.
and they were seemingly being kept as, like, trophies by the Inquisitors. Um, I mean, like, that
Mm-mm.
would be a direct use for them. So, like,
Mhm.
I'm willing to bet that that's a direct tie-in, you
Yeah,
know?
maybe it isn't
Uh,
Palpatine's blood in there actually, it is just Jedi blood,
Jedi,
or
yeah.
just
No,
yeah.
and that's kinda what we went over a couple days ago with the season
Mhm.
1, their season 3 premiere is that Like what you landed on ultimately, that like those are a bunch of murdered Jedi from Order 66. I like that. I think that's a great idea.
Who is
And
he
I think
staring at, man? We're gonna get that reveal of who is in
you
there
think so?
eventually. Oh yes, come on. You think they leave it up? You think it is just Snoke maybe, and it's like it is left up in the
No,
air, and
no.
then
I'd be willing to bet Palpatine's twisted enough, and the storytellers for Star Wars are a little twisted enough. Um, who's to say they didn't go down to the levels of Coruscant and retrieve Mace Windu's body, and he's being kept in that motherfucker?
confirm
And
dead. Are you
yeah,
telling me they're gonna confirm him dead here?
I think he should be regardless. I think he's dead.
It's kind of
But
too. It's been too long. It's like by now he would have
yeah,
somewhere. I'd or fuck. Maybe he
it's just
pops
a
up on
part of
Pabu.
Anakin's.
You know, maybe
It's a
he's like
part of Anakin's downfall that if Mace is alive, I feel like it does a little too much to kind of lessen that. Like, that's the final fucking thing, you know? That's the part that makes Anakin drop to his knees and go, "What have I done?" You know, like, I'm gone, you know, like, I'm not who I once was. Um,
wait a minute. Mace got a limb chopped off as well, though, right?
mhm, yeah,
There's multiple limbs down where we don't know where they
yeah,
are. And maybe at this time period, we're working with Anakin Skywalker's limbs and the limb of Mace Windu.
Mace
But then
Windu, yeah,
in Mandalorian and Ahsoka times, we're working with the hand of Luke Skywalker or,
yeah,
some other Jedi that they have. And maybe
yeah.
that is a component. That would be kind of sick.
No,
And
I
kind
mean, it
of
could, and that's why I'm like, regardless, I don't. The fact that they do not reveal who he's looking at does indicate that that specific one is of some importance,
big time. Like,
and that's what makes me think that of the dead Jedi
who's the biggest
that
one?
we know, it'd be Mace Windu.
It is.
That he's
Like,
like snarling, like God, I fucking done it, you know. Um,
mm-hmm.
And now the other option would be a potential host body, a Snoke, and that's the thing is that Snoke's kind of a disappointment. And he's also not developed until Exegol. We see the vats of Snoke on Exegol.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be just him. It could just be another Palpatine looking back at him, but he doesn't know. Like,
His master. He did
could be
kill him in his
Plagueis.
sleep. Did kill
Could
him in
be
his sleep.
Plagueis.
I didn't think about this. Okay. Whoa. That could be if they're going down that route, that's pretty cool. Because
That'd be gnarly.
Plagueis is bigger. Like he isn't human, I don't think. I think he's some alien form, but he's big.
Yes, yes, he is.
And it'd be really sick if Snoke is the degraded form of
Plagueis.
Plagueis
Yeah,
and it is the host body.
that
Whoa,
would be cool.
that'd be pretty sick if it's Plagueis, because that makes sense for the snarl as well. He's looking at his master that he killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, no,
Ooh.
it's
Ooh.
I am every voice you have ever heard inside your head. Fucking, that's one of my.
One more thing I want to throw out. I saw it and it'd be pretty cool. Bendu. If Bendu's coming back,
The
because
middle.
the ship that got crash landed at the very beginning of the show, Lightning Strike, was what brought it down. Someone saying, and that's what allowed Omega and Crosshair to find that ship to have Plan 87 or whatever in order to escape. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ship is very necessary in the first
The
place.
force is on their side.
Exactly.
Suffice to
And
say.
then like a couple other things. I thought there was one other maybe storm or nature related thing that kind of seemed Bendu like. But that was the only thing that I remembered was the ship being knocked down by him and maybe Bendu's at work here,
Mm,
possibly.
mm.
But I don't know. I
It would
also
be
think
interesting.
a thing that people aren't talking about enough are like the monsters that like the Empire is leaving behind kind of everywhere in these
And
like
also
fucked up creations.
creating.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's happening and like people are just okay, yeah, there's these crazy monsters that we've never seen before, never heard of before, but are like what? That's what they can do? Like they can just if you slice it's like slice them in half, they're still alive and even creepier, and then like a little slithery thing, and then you get
And most importantly, like, they're from Hemlock, who's working on
mhm. And
this
I don't
thing.
think we've seen the true monster of Mount Tantus. I think the things that the little dogs, I don't that whatever Baxter or Batcher is, um, what they fought against that big thing. I think that's just kind of like another normal kind of animal that's out there. Like I think there's
Mm,
still something else out there that
even
is
bigger dog on Tantus.
far more. Yeah, because um, Hemlock is like, oh, if they're out there, they're like
They're fucked.
they're fucked. Like there's no reason to send a search party. They're trying to get these animals mean enough to go out and kill or what's the point of having them? They're like whenever Omega tried to domesticate Batcher, they're like, no,
Right.
he's too
We're gonna put him
domesticated.
down.
We have to put him down because he's gonna die out there. So like what why have these animals, sort of thing. Maybe I don't know,
Mm,
maybe they're for monster creation. They need DNA. They're just fucking mashing DNA together,
yeah, yeah.
maybe.
No, I could
Um,
see that, and I think that that's an interesting thing that I actually really enjoyed about this episode is emphasizing just how soulless and, how much they want to ruin all joy is it's not just I mean, obviously, we see, like, a Rathtar, I think,
yeah,
is what ultimately
yeah.
gets him, so,
Kills
like
that dude. Hell yeah.
yeah, that's really sad. We see some big fuckers, we see some big boys, but we hear the sound of a porg scream, I don't know if you heard that, there was a little
The
porg.
wah, wah.
Yeah,
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 uh-huh.
yeah,
Got that.
but, um, when he says, "Lao has very strict pet policies."
Mhm.
The Empire isn't even allowing you to have a fucking pet, man. You don't get your fuzzy little companion. You don't get your little buddy,
Yeah, they need
okay?
their DNA. They need and maybe that's how they're getting all these enhancements. That's what it comes from, is like this little part of a Rathtar's DNA is what makes them so fucking big and strong and whatever. So we'll put that in a human and bada bing, bada boom. There's Wrecker and or
Well,
whatever,
and see, like, that's what's so specifically, fucked about it, is that nobody's keeping Rathtars as pets, you
Mm.
know? We're talking like, there is no aspect of your life that is going to be the same under the Empire. Um,
I'd see like oh my god, how am I blanking on his name? Anarchist. Uh Rogue One sees the horizon. What the hell? Saw Gerrera. Oh my god, I
oh,
could see
okay,
Saw
okay.
Gerrera like being a dude to be like, yeah, I got a pet Rathtar. Like, there's people
That's
have
yeah.
Jabba
You've got
and
fucking Borg Gullet back
yeah,
in that place, you know?
Jabba and Boba had a Rancor as a pet.
Mhm.
Boba rode one.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
they used to ride the freaking whatever.
Mythosaur,
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. So I'd say a Rancor is not necessarily
Or Rathtar,
a
yeah.
Rathtar. Yeah, I'm getting there's
The
too many
RA,
mythical creatures in
yeah,
my head right now,
yeah.
but
No, I loved that though, like, the letting them loose and setting them free and them being what tears down
mhm.
the Empire, like, I've always loved the nature versus mechanical,
Yeah.
that they do with, like, The Rise of Skywalker when they're not on speeders, sir, they're riding horses on like, that is fucking awesome, like,
Mhm.
that's the shit I
Yeah.
love, so, getting a little bit of that was super cool. I love the character design this week. I
Mm.
want the loud disguises for action figures, and it sucks that we certainly will not get that. But there was once upon a time,
Mm.
several years ago, many many moons ago, like 20 years ago, that'd be getting turned into an action figure, and it sucks that that's not the case anymore. Because the loud disguises are dope. I love
Is
Crosshair's vibe.
is it like a
Um,
mouth warmer? I was trying to think
could
of
be,
like
yeah.
because
Their
like it's
breath
a
is showing and
there's a
stuff.
scarf and then that thing, and
Mm,
I was wondering like what it could be. Maybe like a phone and your voice just can't be heard. It's just like
right.
you're just talking into that thing. But no, I definitely the costume design was sick. It
was. It
was
was.
awesome this week.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I was very happy with this episode. It was just it's just so nice to have this back on
Yeah.
Wednesday mornings, you know. And this was a particularly good one. Um, in terms of the feels, it's triumphant, it's
Mm,
happy, it's good. Obviously, there's a lingering tension at the end there, but
yeah.
I think that's only natural. People online are like, "What the fuck are they looking at him like that for?" Like, come on now, there'd be a lingering tension. Don't be like
Definitely.
that. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah, because was the Ryloth arc was that season 2
seems like definitely that has to be season 2.
when they
Like,
brought Hera Syndulla in and all that?
I mean, I'm not 100%, but I I'm like 90. I'm going to the episodes to see season 2.
Rescue on Ryloth? I
Clunkus
think it's
Spring
season 1.
breaking point. Okay, maybe I would be
Yeah,
wrong.
no, it's season 1. It's Devil's Deal
Yikes.
and Rescue on Ryloth. Um, okay, then what I was I'm pretty sure the last time the group
Wow.
saw Crosshair was when they went their separate ways in the season 1 finale. Because season 2, he was really secluded. He was left in on those random bases, you know, like he went to the separatist holdout, and
Mm,
you know, like there's the outpost. That's one of the best episodes of the show, period. So yeah, I don't think he was in Plan 99, the season 2 finale. Like, I don't think he's there whenever they go get Omega, because he's already been locked up.
mhm.
Um,
Okay. Wow. Okay, so it has been quite some time.
yeah,
Yeah,
when he
so
actively chose to stay with the Empire over them, as far as Hunter and Wrecker think. Um,
damn.
That's why I'm like, I'm excited for however they ease the tension here. I think it has to relate to Tech. Um,
Yeah.
I think that Omega is obviously going to be a peacekeeper. I think she's just good at that. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't think if I were them, we get in that ship and we fucking go, man. We don't have the fucking time, bro. I think we're fucked. I think that either they don't make it off this moon, or which I don't think it'd be pretty
Say
impossible
they
to
go back
escape.
to Pabu right now? Is that endangering Pabu? Do they
Yeah.
not go back to Pabu because of that? Um,
If the ship gets destroyed, no chance they go back to Pabu. They can track the other one. Um, Now if they were to go to if their ship is not destroyed, I see that happening. Um,
but like,
the
what if
bottom
they just
line
go
too
right
is that
now? Right now, right off the moon. Hop in the ship straight to Pabu.
I'd like that. I'd like that. I'd be willing to bet Hemlock. He's like, track it. He's probably got Crosshair wired up somehow. Not like knowingly. He probably put a fucking tracker on Crosshair though. Like, that's
Oh
probably just
shit.
in him. You know.
Oh fuck.
They
And
do all sorts of fucking
maybe an Omega
testing.
as well. Like,
Yeah, I'm like they're putting needles in them every single
oh,
fucking day, man. They're probably tracking them.
damn it.
They probably don't even need a ship that they are capable of tracking, you know? Um,
Fuck. Oh man. Yeah, it's not looking good. That's the thing.
no,
Because we still have to see Cad
it's
Bane.
gonna get worse.
We have Cad Bane coming up. We have is this,
Asajj.
yeah, what the I mean, like, it's crazy to me because I am also listening to Dooku Jedi Lost, like, in the
Oh yeah,
background. Like,
yeah.
I think I'm like 3 hours in now. So, like,
Mm.
it's just crazy that Asajj will pop up here, which will be insane. Finnick Shand, I think, was in the trailer as well. So
Mhm.
like we got a lot of bounty hunters. We got a lot of people. I guess Asajj kind of the wild card over here, but
Yeah, whether she is
um
bounty hunting or if she's just right place, right time, force sensitive. I mean, like the path. You know, how to it could that fold in somehow?
Omega go down the path, and
Yeah,
that's how she's
yeah.
protected and
That's
not
what I'm
heard about and everything. Okay,
part of what I'm thinking. You
I
know, like I
hope
think that's a distinct possibility.
her and
Um,
Grogu
that would
just
be another tie to Obi-Wan Kenobi, which would further that idea that maybe those vats of people are from.
Could we see Grogu? Is this possible?
I doubt it.
In the path? Say like the path has like a safe house. I don't know. Something.
I'd be willing to bet the path is careful enough to not overlap that sort of thing. Um,
They did say it was like a web, like a
Yeah.
web of paths and stuff.
There's a lot going
Hmm.
on. But I mean, nevertheless, I loved this episode. I can't wait for next week. I when that cut to black today, I was like, yeah, that feels right, but goddamn, I want more. I want more.
I
I'm like,
know.
yep, that's where you were gonna end it. I'm sure it was.
The Return. It is just a single release, right? It's not a
Yes, season 3 episode. I
thing.
think episodes 6 and 7 are the next double release. I think.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, they are. Okay, so we have a little bit. Or we have one more episode until then. Then
I
we'll
mean,
get
with a double
this
release
little
coming,
double.
we're getting left on another. I think we're getting left on another like, ooh, what's about to happen sort of thing.
Infiltration and Extraction is the double. So they're going back to Mount Tantus. I think that's probably my bet. Is this is the maybe that's the next episode. That's called The Return. Maybe it's
Could be
the
returning to
return to
Tantus.
Mount Tantus. It could be the return
Yeah.
of the group. Could be return of Tech. Could be return to Mount Tantus. Could be
Lots of returns possible.
the return of the Jedi. The return of
Return to Pabu.
Yeah.
Return to anything. You never know.
But we'll return
like
next week with
Rex
whatever
and
it
Echo.
happens
We haven't
to be.
seen them yet.
That's
not
true. Okay,
any
yeah, maybe it is
expansion,
just a full
like
reunion of everybody but the one. Everybody's still
everybody
living.
meet on Pabu. Everybody come through type shit.
That is true. I forgot they have to link up with Echo, and Rex and all them. So
yes.
okay.
We got a lot to look forward to, but yeah, before we wrap this up, I'm going to go ahead and do our plugs, if you would, at patreon.com/pennybloom-pod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and the like. For $3 a month, you can support the podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening, and to continue to download episodes. Also follow on TikTok or watch on YouTube. We just look up Penny Bloom Podcast and we're there. But yeah, any last thoughts on this episode?
Let's see. I guess I don't know. Do we want to put anything in the predictions box? Anything solid that we think that we're thinking?
As far as like next week,
I like the Mace Windu. That's the first time I've ever heard of that. Like being in the in one of the vats or something to be like confirmed dead.
I could see that being Palpatine's like specific
Plagueis.
trophy.
That's right. Could be Plagueis.
True.
Could be. I think that's a fun one. That's a fun prediction to make. Is who's in there? I think that'll. I mean, it has to be revealed, right? They wouldn't do the tease of Palpatine.
I mean, it could be, and that's the thing, is it could be as simple as just prequel Jedi. It could be fucking Kit Fisto.
True.
It could be Isla Secura. It could be Shaak Ti.
It's
it
fucking Plo Koon. Oh,
yeah.
dude, shit. No, he kind of blew up in a ship, though. He kind of went boom, boom.
That's what it is. But that's my thing, is that like it could be someone extremely important. It's probably just some prequel Jedi.
True. Okay. This is very interesting. It could many different routes. Could be Palpatine's host body, could be Snoke, could be Plagueis, could be a clone, could be who the fuck. It's someone with a high M count or somebody.
That's why I'm ready to see. But yeah, I mean, like not much has changed for me from last week. I'm like, my immediate prediction is either we don't get off this moon or the ship's not lasting much longer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But what's wrong? You mean like the Empire is going to blow it up?
Yes.
Damn. You really think they're that hot on their tail? They have like no time?
I mean, I guess not.
Because at the end, They did say they managed to leave that warehouse or whatever on a freighter, and then Hemlock is just like, "All right, fucking track him." Like,
Track them, yeah. Not find them or
track
not,
them.
like, track
So,
them.
I think I think it's pretty safe to assume he knows where
They don't
Omega.
have much time, I don't
Mhm.
think. They're on their fucking tail. Um,
Damn.
but yeah, so, I think we're saying goodbye to at least the ship soon, um, which will suck. But,
Damn. Ship go bye-bye. Okay. Um, I like that. Okay, I
probably
think
not immediately on this moon. I bet we get, like, one more tech turn, you know? Like, one last ride,
yeah,
you know?
they'll plug the goggles in. They'll maybe that's what it is.
Home home
It'll be
video, tech
calm. They'll be
turn,
watching
yeah.
tech stuff, but then it'll be interrupted by, "Oh shit.
Yeah.
Boom."
They
Um,
gotta go Techio drift on that
Hera
ass, you
come to
know?
the rescue.
I'm like, "How much does Ryloth come into play since we
They
are on
are
Ryloth?"
right
You know?
there. They are
Mhm.
right there. What if they need to like go to Ryloth? They're like, "Hey, well, we only know Hera, so
And we
like,
only know the Syndulas, but as far as we know, the Syndulas have been, like, imprisoned and stuff like that, so, like, how much help can they really be? I mean, like, it would be up to Hera and
mm,
Chopper, so, like, it would be fun. I don't see it happening, but it could be fun. I would like it. I love Hera. That's one of my favorites.
we're
That's one of my
right
favorites of
there,
all time.
man. I mean, we're
Um,
right there. You could see Ryloth in the background. The screenshot you sent me of Hera up on that moon, it's the
the same
same
fucking
fucking
planet. Yeah.
background, dude. It's like it's perfect.
Same
Um,
spot, same place. And Omega and Hera did say, maybe we'll see each other again one day, like that. I would love it. I would love it. And I could see it happening. I just feel like we don't um I
we don't
guess
want
it
to
is
get too
imperially
excited.
occupied. It's not like they're bringing the empire to Ryloth. So maybe it is a thing.
Hmm.
But
Hera. The return of Hera Syndulla is
that's the
actually
return.
the
That's the
return. The
return.
return of who matters. No,
Yep.
okay. Don't want to say
The
everyone else
return of
doesn't matter.
T110P
C110P.
Chopper.
Oh. Oh, that's his. Okay. How rude of you. He would be so offended if you called him that, I'd say, you know. Um
T1 dash 10P
Chop.
chop. Spells chop.
Chop.
Um,
Maybe does
yeah,
he prefer to go by Chop?
maybe. Who knows?
Does the
I don't know. He seems pretty vocal with Hera. If he wanted to go by Chop, I'm sure they'd be going by
what the
Chop.
fuck? Yeah,
Mm.
he
What
is
the fuck?
very
Um,
very vocal.
yeah,
Very
but
murderous.
yeah, I think with
Yeah.
that we can go ahead and conclude this episode of the Bad Batch Bitches. We will be back next Friday with season 3, episode 5. But in the meantime, on Monday we will be beginning. No, Monday is our Penny Bloom Film Awards, baby.
Mhm.
That's what's coming Monday. We are
Mm.
also dropping our top 10 favorite movies of 2023. There are 3 episodes on Monday, two-parter for the awards and the top 10 films of 2023. So we got a lot of good stuff there. I would strongly recommend tuning in for that. It's just a wonderful time talking all those wonderful movies from last year. And then next Wednesday we are beginning our Dev Patel Actors Spotlight with The Last Airbender, the low point of the project. Uh, so here we're going in full tilt, only going up from here.
Mhm.
Um,
Hey, we
The
got a
Last Airbender
connection.
next Wednesday.
There's I don't
Yes.
know. It's land fighting against big machine, you know.
Yeah.
So there you go. Kind of
Mhm.
Star Wars like a
There's a
little
little
bit.
bit. I mean, there's a good and evil, and a good side and a bad side. So
Mhm.
we got a little Star Wars energy there. It's just not nearly as good as anything Star Wars has ever
Not even
done.
close. Yeah.
Um,
No. Um
And like I said, next Friday and every Friday thereafter, we're covering the Bad Batch, baby. Until this shit is over, we're riding it out. So keep on coming back. But yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom, and always praise the Bad Batch.